Hello there. Welcome to Tech Talk Weekly. I'm Bob from Creation Station. This is our weekly show where we put on 2 to 3 interesting tech topics, find some cool library thing, and get you on your way, hopefully a little bit smarter, having a little bit more fun. Creation Station at Broward.org always gets your information to us if you have any ideas, requests, things like that. Today, my co-host is Miss Sharon Morris. How are you doing, Sharon?
I'm doing great, Bob. Thank you for having me.
Sharon's part of the administrative team here at Broward County Libraries. In fact, what exactly do you do, Sharon? Because your title does not, it's kind of like mine, like it does not match up with what you're actually doing.
Yes, my title is administrative officer, but that means nothing to anyone. I basically these days do a lot of coordinating of training for the libraries division, coordinating conference travel for staff or conference participation, because these days we haven't done much traveling. And I do other projects as assigned by our administrators, but most of it relates to staff development and
Yeah.
professional development for our staff.
And seriously, everybody out there, Sharon is one of the people who makes the library system work. It's I worked with Sharon this past 6, 8 months as we redid WebEx for all the staff and did all this, and we did hundreds of trainings for everybody. And Sharon coordinates all of that on top of all the regular stuff that happens in the world. So that's one of the reasons I wanted to make sure I got you on here. And you were always fun and have cool ideas.
Well, thank you for that. Hopefully I can produce today
Oh, you will. You will. You
some
always
cool
do.
idea.
And let's just jump right in. The first story here is was sent in by one of our listeners through the email. So thank you for that out there. And I don't know. Do you know what Stargate is, Sharon? The TV show?
I've heard of it. I haven't
Okay.
watched Stargate. I'm a Star Trek person more so.
Ah, there he goes. Yeah. I'm a DS9 person more than or yeah. I think that's good. That's getting us off the topic of the story though.
Yes.
Here's this idea of the story is just like this picture that you can see up here on the screen, where it is an installation where you're able to see what's going on in another country. They've got it set up right now in Lithuania and Poland, two different places where they've been able to do in a pretty popular urban park where they had people going back and forth with it and doing it. And I think this picture here just really shows just a little mind-bending part of it.
That's a cool picture. I really like that. And I really like the concept of a futuristic wormhole that's life size, like that big circle. If you're standing there in front of it, you're seeing something 100 miles away or further. But you feel like you could just step through the wormhole
Yeah.
and get there.
And
Which
it doesn't it feel so much different than if you're at a football stadium or something like that, and they've got the big, huge monster screens that you can see anything from anywhere, but it's less personal. This just feels much more tangible to me for some reason.
Yeah, I think it's the fact that you can stand right there in front of it, near it, and look at it and see something big enough. Like that picture, if you were standing there, it would look like you could walk down that street, but it's the other part of the wormhole. So
Yeah.
I think it's cool.
I think it might have caught on maybe a little bit more because we've all been so boxed in, everybody having to stay home for this last year and a half. But even still, I really think that this is just one of those. This is how, like you said, it's Star Trek. It is very much a thing of where could we go with this? What can you do with this?
Yeah,
We're not
and
disintegrating
I
anyone yet, so
and it is as that article says, it's a unifying science fiction that's a concept that's fitting for something like Star Trek, but it's not so complicated in a way.
yeah, no,
It's not taking something that's so very complicated. It's taking something simple but making it useful to bring us closer together, because we've all been dealing with, social polarization where we're not able to be together. So
yeah.
having something like this that brings us together, I think it's great.
It is. One of the things about us all being stuck inside and all of our things, we all, I think, went a little bit on junk food over the last year.
Yes, the
So,
COVID-19 that we all gained,
yeah.
19 pounds. Oh,
So there is this new food trainer app out there that came out, and the reason we brought this up, and if you are out there looking for this story, all these links will be in the show notes when we post this up to Facebook later on. It also is something that this is the original University of Exeter story that all the other news stories are posted on. So being a library geek people that we are, we always try and post our original stuff in here. So it's a little less flashy of this. But this app so it's an app you download on your phone, available for Android or for iOS. And it's got pictures of food. Some have red circles, some have green circles. And you just have to pick which foods you want to eat. And it basically trains your brain to think the Snickers bar is bad and the carrot is good.
oh my gosh. This is bowling down my alley. I recently decided I was going to lose a few pounds. So I could use something that will train my brain to not eat so much food, especially, certain types of junk food. I'm not a strong what's the word? I'm not a junk food junkie where I have to have
Hmm.
junk food all the time, but I have some things that are the culprits for me, which is sugar and carbs, and then late night snacking. And those are if you can create an app that can tame that in me so that I don't have those urges, that'd be great. And I guess I'm thinking from what I read in this article that that you can personalize the food trainer app
Hmm.
to pick out the foods that don't want to eat. Or what would be great for me is also a time connected to it so that I don't eat after a certain hour or something,
Yeah.
because that's a problem for me. I eat dinner early, but then like 10 o'clock I might want a snack. And
And I
so
think that one of the things that this is all about is how do you just rethinking your food plan, I think is where it is. I use a different app where I just track every single thing I eat. So
oh wow.
yeah, so that's a pain point there so that I know if I'm going to go over to the cookie jar and I'm going to take two cookies out, I've
Mhm.
got to also open my phone and go in and log those two cookies in.
Mhm.
So that right there has
Yeah.
helped me keep a more even keel on things.
Yeah, I used to keep a
But
food
obviously, I'm not eating better if I'm going to log cookies instead of logging the. But
But what I think is cool about this food tea app is it only takes like 4 minutes to do a game. So if you've got to do it every day for a month in order to see some results, 4 minutes out of the day isn't much. I think it's something I could actually do, um, and probably see some results after a month
Yeah.
if it
And
works.
it's obviously all for free. And this is from the university in the UK, so there's a lot of good data here about it.
Mm.
Again, go read these links if you're interested in these ideas, because I'm definitely one who does not believe in dieting. Be-
Yeah, me either.
I, it's just learn what you're supposed to do, what you're not supposed to do, and do everything in moderation, including moderation, as the saying goes. So. I had a pizza
Mhm.
party at my house on Sunday, and I ate the equivalent of about a full whole pizza just by myself.
Oh no.
It was a lot,
Say it ain't so. That's a lot.
but
That's a
but
lot
yeah,
of
no,
that's
it
a
is a
lot
lot.
of dough, boy.
Oh,
Speaking of
yeah,
pizza.
it
Oh,
was. It was insane.
yeah.
Um, but it's a great thing, and I really think that these kinds of apps are going to be out there helping people figure out just what your lifestyle's like and what you're doing. I'm all for it. I think that that's one of those great things that's out there for people.
I agree. I agree.
And our
Definitely.
final story today is right up my alley for virtual reality. So, if you
Mhm.
guys have been around Creation Station and places, you know that we were one of the first libraries. We were the first library to roll out virtual reality for the public. Um, And so back in 2018, we did our first test study with some local seniors. And now Stanford University has picked up on this and is running here in John Knox Village, here in Broward County, a full-blown professional study on how using VR affects seniors. You saw a story from us 2 weeks ago, last week, on whether VR can help you with when you're standing up, laying down, how it can make you feel you're in a different position and stuff like that. And here it's where they're using it to help seniors just connect again and do things like that.
I think it's really cool. Just imagine, being at an age where you're less mobile, and that travel is difficult for you. You don't travel well, or you don't travel at all. And then you're in a sedentary situation as living in a retirement community or a senior community where you don't get the opportunity to take field trips often. So imagine being able to just sit down at a computer, put on a headset, and then virtually take a tour of an international space station, which is what this is
Yeah.
talking about.
Yeah.
And then having the feeling that you're floating with an astronaut defying gravity. It's got to be a booster for all the pleasure sensors and the excitement sensors that you
It is.
might have in your brain.
Mission ISS is an amazing app. We've got it here in the
Yeah.
library. When we go back to in-person programming later on this fall, I encourage everybody to come into our various libraries with the VR and go experience it and check it out. It's a really great thing. But yeah, it is just that chance to be on the space station, to do something new, I mean, it doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't really matter. There are certain limits, I guess, some physicality limits that you have to do, but just because you're in a wheelchair, for example, doesn't affect this at all. So you can have full mobility as long as you can
Great.
manipulate your hands just a little bit. It's
And
great.
I think it's also cool that the people in the study are in Pompano Beach at John
Yeah.
Knox Village. I think it's great that they had that opportunity to participate in that, and I think that's wonderful.
Yeah, and I casually mentioned it because we, as in a creation station, we go out to these places all the time, and we'll do an event and we'll give a talk and we'll have some of these things. These guys actually have a full blown, with every single person's has a guide with them to make sure if they get too panicked or anything like that, and all these, and they're getting some really good specific data other than just, oh wow, I had a blast on that app. They're getting some really good data back from these people to make sure of how exactly, who reacts well to which kind of stimulus and stuff like that. So
That's good info too.
and we're getting there. We're getting there with the VR things to make this where you can really experience and do this. I worked with Broward Schools also to do some virtual reality. They've got a new classroom that they're setting up that's
Okay.
in virtual reality for
Wow,
students to be able to attend.
that's
So yeah, they're
great.
going to be coming once we get the libraries back up and running. We will be able to. Students will come to the library and access that. It'll be a lot of fun. And this whole idea of where do you want to go when you can just go anywhere?
The sky is the limit, and that's not
Yeah,
even a limit.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
One of my favorite programs, we did it just before we closed down before the pandemic, was out at our Southwest Regional location. We did a family night for international families, and grandparents were showing their grandkids through Google Earth where they grew up.
Oh,
So the
cool.
grandkids could walk through the same streets that their grandparents walked through.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. It was
I like that.
this all just hit me. And I was just like, oh, this is just so cool, so amazing. It's really hitting the mainstream and getting out there for everybody now. I was really happy to see this story pop up.
Yeah,
And like you said, it's Pompano. It's right around the corner from us.
right around the corner. So, do we have time for me to mention something that I'm excited about?
Yes, we do. 100%. Tell me.
It's not in the library, but I'm thinking maybe one day it will be. Um, the Arch Center, the Adrian Arch Center in Miami, is presenting a world premiere of an Impressionist art 3D LED experience. Now, this is the Arch Center in Miami, and the show is called Lasting Impressions. and it is running until June 16th. But basically, the audience gets to sit on the actual theater stage in the dark, but they're wearing 3D glasses, and they get to actually see classical impressionist paintings come to life, because these paintings are projected on 3 different screens in this 3D installation. And so the images move and they are in 3D. And we're talking paintings by Van Gogh and Cezanne and Monet. So you're looking at waves and lily pads on the water, and the water is moving and the lily pads are moving, and it's in 3D. Or you see the starry sky, and you look like you're flying through the sky, or you feel like you're flying through the sky, because you know how the 3D effects work.
Yeah.
And when these images are blurred, then the 3D effects are stronger. So the audience, the viewers, actually feel like they're immersed inside the paintings, walking through them and moving through them. So I think it's really cool. And I know that the producers of this show talked about that folks in this industry are going to bring it into a virtual reality experience on the VR theater side as a separate VR experience. And so it'll be great to allow people to actually sit inside the artist's world, so to speak. So I think it's the future of art, you know, and it's new and an interesting way to present art exhibitions. So I think one day, why not have a show like that on the main library auditorium stage when we get the kind of technological equipment that could do that? I think it'd be wonderful, you know, and when we can go back to having big gatherings in person. Not there
when
yet.
I'm allowed to put a headset on you, Miss Sharon, I'm gonna put you into the painting. I've got it in Sketchfab.
Oh, you
From
do?
an earlier version of this.
Okay.
I have something in an earlier version where you can go into the actual painting and be inside of one of the paintings. It's really
That would
fun.
be great. I mean,
Yeah.
this show, it's called Lasting Impressions, and they are playing French music that's impressionist music, as well as contemporary French music, and giving some narration about the art.
Yeah.
But I think what's cool about it is the chairs are set up on the stage, and you're surrounded by these big 3 screens, and so you're in it. So I'd be happy for you to to put me in some art, Bob.
It's going to be awesome. It is going to be awesome. Thank you very much for that, Miss Sharon. That's a really great find out there. And especially if you're in the local area down here in South Florida, you only have another week and a half. So go take advantage of this. This is out there. And I was showing the extra video from the Arts Center there of all the precautions they've done for COVID and everything. So everybody can be careful while you're out there doing it. It's a really fun experience. I do have one last cool library thing I need to point out to everybody, and that is Summer at Your Library is happening. We've done a few small events already, but this Saturday is the big kickoff. So you'll want to definitely come in, broward.org/library/summer. You can register. All the things are free. All the things are online. You could still win all of your prizes. Adults, teens, kids, everyone has a chance to get something here at the library. So please come on back in and pick up a take and go. All of our libraries have take and go crafts, so that you can pick one up on your way out of the building for free and have a nice little art project that you can do when you get home. Thank you again so much, Ms. Sharon, for being here with us today.
Thank you for having me, Bob. I appreciate it.
I'm going to throw up our ending slide here. And so everybody out there, thank you for being here with us. Again, Creation Station at Broward.org gets all of your ideas. If there's a story that you want us to highlight, or if there's a library location or somebody who works in the library that you'd like to see co-host with us, shoot me a line and we'll get them on board. Thank you, everybody. You have a great day. Stay safe.